This is a game the Timberwolves had to win if they wanted any chance of being out of the play-in tournament, and the Wolves were all business tonight in Memphis with a historic third quarter, and Anthony Edwards dropping 44 points to lead Minnesota in this big win tonight. 141-125 the final score.
Yeah, they outscored the Grizz 52-25, and they just put them away early on in that third quarter, Marnie. It really was kind of the story of this ball game. I thought the offense really in the first half for both teams was excellent. They're scoring. It's a pretty high-paced game. Minnesota's defense allowed the Grizzlies to shoot 65% in the first half, so things had to change in the second. But really, this little stretch of Randle makes a quick three, then Gobert, they run a pick and roll with Conley and Gobert. Gobert gets fouled, gets to the free throw line, makes a couple free throws. McDaniels gets a steal and a layup in transition. And Edwards gets a little, they run a play where Edwards curls into the middle of the lane, hits a shot at the hoop, and the ball was moving. Everybody was touching it. After the first half, like Edwards had, 26 points in the first half of this game.
So the Timberwolves beat the Grizzlies. Don't be alarmed when you look at the updated standings, because the Wolves are still in 8th in a tie with the Warriors and the Grizzlies. And because of tiebreaker rules, the Wolves are 8th. But if the Timberwolves win on Friday and Sunday, so tomorrow and Sunday, they will be no lower than 6th. Trust me on this. We've done the math and we've checked with all the stats services. This is only temporary because of all teams that play each other. There have to be losses going to some of these teams. If the Wolves win their last 2 games, they will finish no lower than 6th. You got me, Kevin?
I'm trying to follow you, but my pea-sized brain is having a hard time following you. I know the Clippers and the Warriors, they play is it tomorrow night?
They play the Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, the final game of the season.
So one of those teams right above the Wolves are going to get a loss for sure right there. So that's going to affect things.
And the Grizzlies go to Denver tomorrow.
Exactly.
And if the Grizzlies beat the Nuggets, boom, now the Nuggets moved into a tie with all those teams. Right. So there's so many scenarios still to be worked out. These standings remain incredible to check. Not only daily, but multiple times throughout the day as one team wins or loses. It's been a really, really fun watch in the Western Conference this season. Anthony Edwards was a really fun watch tonight.
Well, look, Ant went 0 for 4 in fourth quarter against the Milwaukee Bucks. And so, he's the kind of guy, you just know he takes it and wears everything on his sleeve, Michael. And he wanted to come out and he wanted to really lead his team. And he certainly did that. So it was even scoring for him throughout that first half. He had 13 points. Right away, Minnesota came out of the box and they got a 6-point lead in the first quarter. And Ant was doing his thing. One of the things they were worried about was being able to play with some pace, because this Memphis team, they certainly wanted to. They number 1 in the NBA in pace of play, and they were really trying to get up and down with the Wolves. And Anthony Edwards just did a great job of using screens, of getting Minnesota off to a great start from outside the arc. So 13 in the first, 13 in the second. And then a big third quarter, 18 points in that third quarter, because he didn't score again in the fourth quarter.
He's played better here. A couple weeks ago, he had a stretch of games. We talked about it, where he was giving his team, 26 points, 10 rebounds, assisting, doing a great job. He did not play well in the Milwaukee loss a couple days ago, and that's what we've all been talking about the last couple days, is that disappointing loss. But he was tremendous tonight, Julius Randle. 31 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and made, 5 threes in this game. He was 5 of 10. But really, his bread and butter offensively as a scorer is getting into the lane and using that spin move and fadeaway jump shot in the paint. That has been a real go-to move right there. And that shot bounces in. But he did that probably 3 or 4 times in this game. Every time for profit. That was good to see. But Julius Randle, this is a different team. Edwards is almost always going to have big scoring nights. But when Randle doesn't score well, it just puts on pressure everybody underneath those top 2 guys.
The Timberwolves taking advantage of the Grizzlies' miscues.
That's right. 15 turnovers by Memphis. Minnesota gets 23 points off those. And the Wolves had 16 turnovers and only 17 points off those Minnesota turnovers. So that was good to see. And yeah, that was going to be key. This is the fastest playing team in the NBA. the Grizzlies as far as just flat out pace. And that, a lot of that starts with Ja Morant and how quickly he can push the basketball. But Minnesota got back in transition, did a nice job. And the turnovers that the Wolves had, it just didn't seem like the Grizzlies were punishing Minnesota quite a bit.
23 points off the 15 turnovers. And just to get Memphis kind of discombobulated a little bit was significant for the Timberwolves. All part of a 141-125 Timberwolves win in a game they had to have. And the Wolves went out and got it. They'll be coming back home to play the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow night. But before we turn the page and look ahead, we're going to get reaction from Memphis. And we'll hear from head coach Chris Finch next. A big performance from the Timberwolves tonight in Memphis in a game they had to have. They win it over the Grizzlies. Let's bring you reaction. Here's Chris Finch from Memphis.
No, I mean, Julius been super aggressive out of the gate of late. Try to set the tone for us. He kind of got us going, and then Ant just picked up there when Julius left midway through the first. Both those guys were outstanding, really aggressive in what they were doing. They got to it quickly, really benefited from good screens and just, pretty good execution there around them. So, heck of a game. It was a shootout. Both teams had their offense cranked up. It was hard to get these guys contained in the first half. They were driving and kicking. They were finding cutters. So we had to dial in, at the half on the defensive end of the floor. So.
You saw that in the third quarter, the 52 points from your team, a franchise record. What, it was like everything they were seeing was going, and we got our energy from our defense, which was where we needed it. Got a couple plays that got us a little bit in transition, and we got some great looks from three. Everybody kind of took really good shots, and it started to snowball. So.
And Julius kind of commented on their chemistry to start the year and how strong it was. It seemed like it went through some valleys and then some peaks again. Just where's that at right now? And was tonight as good of a game where they were kind of playing off each other as you've seen? Yeah, I mean
they definitely were playing off each other. They were, certainly spacing around each other well, and understanding who had the matchup each time down floor. I thought it was probably the best recognition of that. That we'd seen all throughout the game. They've had a really good chemistry since they got here. I don't know if there's been too many peaks and valleys. I mean, production might have not always been there, but they always looking to figure out ways to combine out there. And, but tonight I thought they read the floor well with what each other were doing. So
what was the maybe one or two things defensively you wanted to zero in on at halftime that maybe you did a little bit in the third that was able to get you?
Well, first and foremost, we were giving Morant way too much of a runway. It was just coming at us. We were on our heels. We had to get back and get him contained, kind of shrink his runway a little bit. We weren't good with our coverage with him early on. There was a little bit of indecisiveness in, whether we were going to break off on the pick and rolls or where we were going to pursue. So we sorted that out. And then off ball, they do a really good job of moving into new space all the time when the ball's driven. We knew it was coming. It's how they play. We gave up way too many looks and cuts and got distorted as a result. So we were much, much better than in the second half. So.
Chris, when Julius got Bane in the post or on the block a few times, I mean, is that kind of just the antidote to if the lead is shrinking to be able to just go to him and get reliable offense? Yeah,
I mean, listen, the Julius post-ups have resulted in one of the more efficient things that we do for sure. We got to go to it more, particularly when they're going to play small. Did a good job of just calming us down. He made some shots. He's always a good passer from there too. And then the other thing is the Mike Rudy pick and roll. He also leaned on that down the stretch too. It was gassed. He had a heck of a game. We were just, we got some really good looks from three, but I think at that point we had tired legs and we had to go elsewhere. So.
the physicality early on, getting foul trouble for Edey and Jackson? Was that a big emphasis of just trying to neutralize their size a little bit?
Yeah, matching their physicality. I mean, Jackson Jr.'s a hit-first offensive player. If you don't stand him up, I thought Julius did a good job of setting the tone early. Just stood him up, didn't give ground. He got him on a few moves, but over the course of time, it's that type of physicality is what you have to do against a player like him. And we're lucky to get some early foul trouble in the second half there, and kind of change the way that they had to play in the third quarter. So.
And I mean, we've talked about it a little before, but do you just sense that, does Ant have a sense of the moment here? To come out the way that he did, we've seen it many times, just coming off of Tuesday and trying to get back into it.
No doubt. No doubt about it. He's had that since, he got here. Even as a rookie, we didn't play in a lot of big and meaningful games, certainly that year, that half season together. But once the next season rolled around, he has a sense of the moment in the game. Sometimes he wants it too bad, but that's a good thing. And tonight he was phenomenal. So
for tomorrow night, do you plan on playing Mike, or is it a rest night for him?
I don't think it's a rest night for Mike. Yeah. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Chris Finch was just talking before that last answer about Anthony Edwards. Ant had 44 points tonight, and we will hear from him after this. Here's our Menards game summary. The Timberwolves tied a season high by scoring 141 points. They had a franchise record 52 points in the third quarter. The Timberwolves shot 55% for the game. Anthony Edwards had 44 points. Julius Randle 31. The Wolves were 20 made three-pointers. That's 2 off of the season high. Just some really, really impressive offensive statistics for the Wolves. Let's hear from Anthony Edwards. Here's his post-game reaction from the locker room in Memphis.
Like Finch said, I just got the sense. Every game that we play, 82 games is a big game, but tonight was like Mike Wright must win, pretty much. So I just had that sense, man, and when I get that sense, it's ugly for anybody. Yeah. So. He was incredible, man. Playmaking, shot making, everything, defense, rebounding, pushing the tempo. Randomness on offense, big time for us. Him, Nas, just them two playing within the flow of the game and finding their spots. So that was great for us.
How good was it just to maybe send you guys down in the fourth quarter?
Yeah. Big time, because they don't have no matchup for him. They don't know who they want to put on them, especially when Jaren Jackson got in foul trouble. We kind of knew what was going to go to down the stretch, and nobody cared. It's all about winning at that time. So get a ball to Julius and let him go to work.
And you get this win, now you go home, 2 wins, and you're in the top 6 for sure. Is it determination now to finish this thing strong?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How are you feeling just physically?
I'm feeling great. If Mike is feeling good, I'm feeling best day of my life. Yeah. He's 37, I'm 23. So he's feeling good, I'm feeling great.
And how did you like when you guys responded defensively coming out of the
halftime? Like I said, we got cussed out at halftime, especially myself. So we put emphasis on that side of the ball, and it was led by Julius with his defense on Jaren Jackson. So he just followed that.
What's it like when you go out that quarter when you guys were 18 for 21, set a franchise record in second quarters? What is that like when everything's going down? Is just how good is that feeling for you and your teammates?
I can't speak on what it's like the feeling for me, for my teammates. I'm super excited. I think everybody know I get more hype when my teammates score than when I score. So I was super excited to see Ju get going, Kill get going, and then myself. I just, like I said, put the work in, man. So don't be shy now. It's the moment. It's the moment I've been working for. It's the time I've been waiting on. So I shouldn't be scared now.
Thanks, Sam.
The moment was big, and Anthony Edwards met the moment. It was also a big game for Julius Randle. We'll hear from Randle after this. It's a win for the Timberwolves in Memphis in a game with massive playoff implications. Julius Randle had 31 points, and here's a reaction from Randle from the locker room in Memphis.
Today it was important to refocus, come out, with the right energy and mindset, and just be resilient throughout the game.
Feels like you were really trying to set a tone early, just aggressive, like going right at them.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much from last night to the game, I was locked in. Just focused on what I need to do, and just try to be aggressive and make the right play.
When you have Bane on you on the block, is it just like green light go? Like what's kind of the mentality?
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to play single coverage, yes. He's a strong guy, so he's trying to get under you, but just take my time, get to my spots, rise, just trust my stuff from there. And if they double, then make the right play and get the ball to the open man.
As the game got tight there, and you just kind of take it upon yourself trying to get a bucket, settle everything down, or was that just kind of what the game was giving you at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, you recognize it, so if the moment presents itself, you try to, just need one bucket to just settle us down. And, I just tried to do that. Got to the post, just got to my sweet spot, mid-range or whatever it is. And, trust the work from there. But like you said, when it's snowballing like that, you just got to get a good possession, get a quality shot. And then, from there, we were able to get stops and come down and start executing again.
What was the third quarter against the franchise record? What was it like? So what's that feel like when everything's going
It was good. I mean, our offense obviously was clicking, but really, it was our defense. We held him to 3 points for a long time in the quarter, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It was our defense, man. That's all.
Do you enjoy the ball? Sometimes when you get the ball and attacking someone down, it just looks like you're going to score two on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just, getting to my spots, just taking my time. Recognizing what the matchup is and what the defense is doing. And like I said, if they play me single covers, then I'm just going to get to my spot and rise.
What has this year been like, getting to know Ant, getting to start to learn how to play with him, building that chemistry that you guys have had?
I mean, he's Anthony Edwards. He's one of one. The things that he does out there is one of one. You know what I mean? And the more I got to know him, throughout the season, getting to play, with him and learning his tendencies. I just try to make the game easier for him, and that can come in many different ways. But when the game is easier for him and he sees the ball go in and, he gets some easy buckets, he does the things that he does tonight, which is truly special. So just try to keep him in that rhythm. It makes the game easier for all of us.
Now you go home, if you get 2 wins, I mean, you're in the top 6. Just what's kind of the mindset to finish this thing out?
Be professional. Be professional. Right now, recover, take care of your body, get some sleep, get some rest, come in with the right mindset tomorrow, and just be professional and take care of business on our home court like we should, and we'll be fine.
Be professional and take care of business. That's what the Timberwolves need to do tomorrow night against Brooklyn and then Sunday afternoon against Utah. And if the Wolves do that, they will be a top 6 seed for the playoffs. But you cannot look past the Brooklyn Nets, Kip.
No, they got hammered. Well, the good thing is they played tonight against Atlanta in Brooklyn. So they're going to be on the second game of a back-to-back as well tomorrow night in Minneapolis. So that's a good thing, because if they were sitting in Minnesota right now watching this game here tonight and Wolves, emotional win, on the road, expend a lot of energy, then you travel back to Minneapolis, play tomorrow night, and the Nets are sitting here waiting for you, resting, that'd be a different animal. But they played tonight. They're going to be traveling here as well. So it's going to be, I don't want to say a must-win, because the Wolves are going to be in the play-in or playoffs regardless, but it's pretty close to that. The Wolves got to get 2.
Yes, and where they want to be
right.
for the playoffs, out of the play-in, which has kind of been the mindset all along here, and you lose a lot of what you gained tonight if you don't back it up with the win tomorrow night against Brooklyn and Sunday afternoon against the Jazz. But we have every faith, and you just heard Julius Randle say it, that the Wolves are hopefully going to do this business-like. Don't look past anyone. Buckle down. All of those terms.
Be a professional.
They're all going to come into play tomorrow night at Target Center. It's a later game, an 8 o'clock start, a 7:30 pregame for us. Timberwolves and Brooklyn Nets. We've got 2 to go. And both are at home, and the Timberwolves did exactly what they needed to do tonight. So we'll see you tomorrow night from Target Center. Rest easy. Woo!